Now, Ohtani's so cold because, like, since 1920, you know what I'm saying, they kept RBIs. But yesterday, he hit a home run, struck out 8 batters, drove in more runs than runs allowed. He had 2 by himself. He only gave up 1 and only had 1 walk, and they still lost the game. That's why he gets paid $700. He did everything for that team to win yesterday, bro. I struck people out, I hit a home run, and we still lost.
I need some help, bro. Golly.
And their roster not weak. Their roster solid, but
is he LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Well, both of them combined.
It's then
He's something different.
Jeff Teague just tossed a grenade into baseball Twitter, and the shrapnel's hitting everyone from diehard Dodgers fans to confused MLB stans. Shohei Ohtani steps up, smacks his 1,000th career hit against the Cardinals, and suddenly it's less about the swing and more about Teague's take. Now the internet's in full meltdown mode. Was it legendary, overrated, or just Ohtani casually breaking physics again? Buckle up, because this isn't just baseball. It's a full-blown culture war in cleats.
Impressive athlete, the best player in the game, and what an ambassador for this sport.
Then the obvious, what do you admire about Shohei?
Other than the obvious, I feel like everything's obvious. Hits for average, hits for power, the speed. Doing what he did this year with the 50 stolen bases. That's it got talked about a lot, but I don't think it got talked about enough. It's just
The crack of the bat was enough to make even the most casual fan lean forward, and before anyone could blink, Shohei Ohtani had just deposited his 1,000th career hit into the seats like it was nothing more than a routine warm-up swing. It wasn't just a single. It wasn't a blooper. It wasn't even one of those, oh, the wind helped it kind of hits.
I don't think the Dodgers are worried about the regular season.
What I'm worried about, Greg, is getting ready for the postseason.
And Ohtani?
We are mid-August.
Ohtani looks like Game 1 and Game 7. He's a Game 1 starter. That's the best stuff the Dodgers have in their rotation.
It absolutely is. Yamamoto's really good, and he's going to get a look at number 1 starter. But I'm going to take you a little bit later into a tape and show you what number 1 stuff looks like, what number 1 pitchability looks like. He's just waiting on the command to get right back. And today, 4 innings. By the time the postseason's here, he's going 6+. Today, he was 98 to 100. Almost every fastball he threw.
No, this was a towering, physics-defying home run against the Cardinals. As if Ohtani woke up that morning, decided baseball was too easy, and casually ticked off another milestone like checking buy milk off his grocery list. The stadium erupted. Dodgers fans went feral in the stands. Cardinals fans quietly sipped whatever overpriced drink they were holding. And the announcers tried their best not to sound like they were narrating the birth of a new baseball deity.
Absolutely nothing, bro. This nigga is throwing strikes and swinging a baseball, bro, at the same time. Absolutely not.
That's like
literally the same thing.
That's like Mike getting 40 and locking somebody up, though.
I'm not rolling, bro.
It's different.
This is all individual shit, bro. This is all individual shit. Mike ain't just guarding a nigga. Dolly, it's some help somewhere. This, bro, a strikeout, you don't get no help on throwing the pitch.
Yeah.
You don't get no help, nigga, hitting a baseball, bro.
That's true.
It's no help, bro. I'm nothing.
Yeah, this is uncharted territory.
And for a few glorious minutes, the only conversation was about just how ridiculous this man's career has been. That was, of course, until Jeff Teague decided to enter the chat. Now, Jeff Teague, former NBA point guard, champion, respected in his lane, doesn't exactly pop up in the baseball world often. He's not the guy you see on MLB Network breaking down OPS trends. He's not the dude you call for insight on the Dodgers farm system.
How long of a hitting streak would a baseball player have to have for it to be a thing that America cared about?
That's a great question. CC Sabathia, who's going into the Hall of Fame next week, called me up one day and said Shohei Ohtani is the greatest baseball player of all time. In his rookie year. I'm like, he's been here 2 months. Don't you want to wait a little bit? He's like, I don't need to. He's the greatest baseball player of all time, and here's why. He's doing at the major league level that we did in Little League. He's the best pitcher in the league, he's the best hitter in the league, and he hits home runs too.
And runs.
Think about that. That's LeBron James level. When you think about that level of talent, and nobody cares, he should be.
But when he does talk about another sport, oh, it's never boring, and this time his comments didn't just spark debate. They lit an entire wildfire that somehow made Ohtani's milestone feel like the pre-game show to the main event. Because only in 2025 can a two-way baseball superstar accomplish something historic and still get partially upstaged by a basketball player's opinion about it. Welcome to the internet, where context dies, nuance is ignored, and opinions are either gospel truth or blasphemy, punishable by 1,000 angry quote tweets. This is 1,000 hits from a guy who is also a starting pitcher, who also strikes out elite hitters for fun, and who also makes the game look like a cheat code someone forgot to patch. In MLB history, you can count the number of players who've even come close to doing this on one hand and still have fingers left over to point at Ohtani's highlight reel. Babe Ruth? Yeah, he pitched, but not like this.
But the Los Angeles Dodgers lose another series at home again. Ohtani starts the game. Ohtani hits a homer. Usually, if Ohtani starts, looks good, and hits a homer, the Dodgers win. That was not the case.
Was not the case, but I tell you what, there's some things to take away from. I mean, I know Jake's going to dive into Ohtani, but again, the flair for the moment. He homers and then strikes out the side with the best stuff I saw him have all year.
Not with this velocity, not with this movement, not while also leading the league in home runs. Ichiro Suzuki? Sure, he could hit for days, but he wasn't also throwing 100 miles per hour gas on the mound. Ohtani is basically the love child of a Cy Young winner and a Silver Slugger, with just enough anime protagonist energy to make you think he might actually level up mid-game. And the best part? This milestone wasn't achieved with a soft dribbler up the middle. No, Ohtani made sure it was a homer because if you're going to make history, you might as well do it with style. You know how most people celebrate hitting 1,000 career anything? They smile, they wave to the crowd, maybe they get the ball back as a keepsake. And Teague doesn't exactly stroll in with a bland congrats like the rest of us. No, he decides to question, to prod, to poke the bear. And by bear, I mean the collective hive mind of baseball Twitter, which is more than happy to bite back. His remarks, whether he meant them to be playful, contrarian, or just honest, had the effect of tossing a gallon of gasoline on an already lively campfire.
As a Phillies fan, I hate to admit this, but Shohei Ohtani just locked down MVP after his performance last night, both offensively and defensively. We have the first pitcher ever that's also DHing. This is history, and Shohei Ohtani last night had his best outing in his entire career. 4 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, and a 2-run homer. This man gave himself run support. Do you understand how impressive that is as a pitcher to give yourself run support against one of the best teams in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals? Now Shohei was dominant, striking out 8 players, 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, off speed. I mean, he looked incredible.
Suddenly the discourse shifts. It's no longer just Ohtani is amazing. It's, is Ohtani's accomplishment overhyped? And here's the thing, this is where it gets fun, because you can absolutely make a case for both sides. On one side, you have the pro-Teague crowd, the skeptics, the people who believe sports milestones have become a little too inflated with media hype. Their argument goes something like this. Sure, it's impressive, but let's not act like no one's ever hit 1,000 before. They point to other hitters who've done it faster or with more home runs by that point or with less time spent on the injured list. To them, the conversation is less about what Ohtani did and more about the modern sports culture that turns every milestone into a coronation. They'll point out that if he wasn't splitting his time between the mound and the batter's box, he might already be at 1,500 hits by now. To them, this isn't just a milestone. This is a flashing neon sign that says, you are watching something you'll probably never see again in your lifetime.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when Ohtani was coming back. And we thought, could you just have him for 1 inning and make him a closer as opposed to trying to move him along so he can get to 3 innings and then 4 innings and 5 innings. And I don't know if you run the risk more of Tommy John as a starter than you do a closer, but you were both.
Well, I can tell you this. Everyone thought it was going to be easier on my elbow when I went to the bullpen, and it was worse. Because you're up and you're getting hot all the time, and you don't always.
And in the middle of this tug of war sits Teague, who probably didn't expect his opinion to spawn meme threads longer than most minor league contracts. But here we are, debating the meaning of a milestone while NBA and MLB fans trade jabs like it's an intersport Royal Rumble. That's the beauty of cross-sport drama, though. When an athlete from one world comments on another, it doesn't just spark conversation, it ignites rivalries between fandoms that might otherwise never interact. NBA fans bring up pace of play, MLB fans bring up physical toll and skill variety, and somewhere in the chaos, is a guy making a TikTok comparing Ohtani's swing to Steph Curry's jumper. Meanwhile, Ohtani himself, he's probably just hydrating and prepping for his next start, completely unbothered. Because that's the thing about truly elite athletes. They don't live in our 24-hour reaction cycle. They just keep stacking performances until the stat sheets look like a video game save file. It's a story with conflict, with sides to choose, with, did he really just say that? Energy fueling it.
Also 98 miles an hour. 100. He hit 100 a couple times. Think about that. He hadn't pitched in a year and a half. Shohei, go out there, just stretch out, feel good. Don't push it. Let's just get the mechanics and the rhythm down. No problem. I'll just rifle the ball 100 miles an hour. Was it an outstanding, sparkling first inning? No. But if you really think about what happened last night, this guy hasn't pitched in almost 2 years. He's faced no one in a game. They didn't send him anywhere to get back into shape. I have to tell you, if that is a precursor to what is to come, everybody better.
It's the perfect reminder that in sports, the narrative can be just as powerful as the achievement itself. And make no mistake, Ohtani's milestone wasn't some lucky accident. This wasn't a guy tripping into greatness. This was years of relentless precision, the kind of work ethic that makes the rest of us feel bad about skipping leg day because it was raining. He didn't just wake up one morning, rub his eyes, and think, you know what? I'm going to hit 1,000 baseballs into the history books. Number. He's been carving his name into both the pitching and hitting leaderboards like a man on a 2-career speed run. And even then, none of them did it in the hyper-analyzed, stat-tracked, highlight replayed, every move microscopically scrutinized environment of today. Now, imagine that's your career. And then Jeff Teague, a man who has made thousands of highlight reels in a completely different sport, rolls in and decides this is the moment to, let's say, add perspective. And sure, Teague has earned his own stripes. NBA champion, dependable floor general, a guy who knows all about performing under bright lights.
A huge milestone with 1,000 career hits. Shohei Ohtani doing something that we've never seen before. As much as I would love to see Kyle Schwarber win the MVP, I mean, he leads the NL in home runs. Kyle Schwarber is one of the best DHs in baseball. He's not pitching, and he's losing the competitive edge. And I know MVP awards shouldn't go to a DH, but with what Kyle Schwarber is doing this year, it should be a close battle to the end. But Shohei Ohtani, if he keeps pitching like this, 4 innings, 8 strikeouts, we're in trouble. This guy is going to dominate the...
But here's the thing about sports fans. They don't like perspective when they're busy building a statue in their minds. It's like telling a kid on Christmas morning that Santa didn't really buy them that PlayStation. They're not going to thank you for being realistic. They're going to glare at you like you've just ruined the magic. And yet, there's an undeniable entertainment value in what Teague did. He cracked open a door nobody expected to even exist, and now the conversation spilled out into something far bigger. MLB fans are digging through old stats to prove Ohtani's in a class of his own. NBA fans are posting side-by-sides of greats in their sport and wondering if baseball's pace makes milestones look grander than they are. And tucked in between these camps are the casual sports fans who don't even have skin in the game but are here for the chaos. But here's where things take a fascinating turn, because this isn't just about baseball versus basketball. It's about the value we put on how something is accomplished. Think about it. In the NBA, scoring 1,000 career points is something you could technically do in under 2 seasons if you're decent. In NBL, hitting 1,000 career hits is a grind. It's years of consistency, surviving slumps, adjusting to new pitchers, staying healthy through a schedule that chews up bodies like bubblegum.
Last week, Shohei Ohtani plays for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Flips 50-50 for the first time
Yeah.
as a former Major League Baseball player yourself.
Unbelievable.
I was wondering, what are your thoughts on Ohtani?
It don't make sense. I think the only person that probably could have done that was Canseco or Barry Bonds. But Ohtani is that he's incredible, man. I mean, you could compare him to the Jordans and those Tom Brady's of the world. That's who he is. He's doing things that we haven't fathomed.
And when you layer in the fact that Ohtani also spends half his baseball life on the mound throwing absolute filth to other hitters, it's like hitting 1,000 while also doing a completely different full-time job. Which is why this milestone isn't just a number, it's an absurd balancing act. It's working 2 demanding jobs at once, excelling in both, and still making it look effortless. Imagine someone winning Employee of the Month in 2 different departments for 5 straight years while their coworkers argue about whether they're really that good or just good for someone with 2 jobs. That's why Ohtani's fans aren't just defending him, they're borderline feral about it. They're not going to sit quietly while someone from outside the baseball bubble tries to downplay it. To them, it's like someone showing up at a wedding and suggesting the cake could have been bigger. You don't get to do that without catching some heat. And this is where social media comes in to turn a spark into an inferno. Before you know it, there are threads titled, "Why Jeff Teague is Right," counter threads titled, "Why Jeff Teague is Dead Wrong," and memes depicting Ohtani as a one-man baseball Avengers team. There's even a faction joking that Teague's just trying to distract everyone from the fact that no one in the NBA has ever hit a curveball.
He's not a generational talent. He's the best to ever do it. Nobody that's put a baseball glove on their hand or picked up a bat can say that they are a better overall baseball player than Shohei Ohtani. And that was true before 50-50. I don't think you could make an argument for anybody else literally ever because he does everything. We know he's got pop. Like even the 50th homer goes oppo, looked weird, like a weird swing. 109 off the bat. Like I don't get it. Like his exit velo is so good. He hits the ball so hard. But then when he runs, it's crazy. He's got long strides. He's just a different type of player. This is the guy that we're going to be telling our grandkids about.
The funniest part? Teague probably wasn't trying to start a war. He probably thought he was making a harmless observation, maybe even giving backhanded praise. But once that comment was out in the wild, it took on a life of its own. Because in sports discourse, intent is irrelevant. Only impact matters. And this one, it had impact. Meanwhile, the actual game between the Dodgers and Cardinals feels like a forgotten subplot. You know, the one where Ohtani not only hit the milestone homer, but also played his usual all-around brand of baseball excellence. Somewhere in there, a pitcher's ERA went up, a fan caught the ball, and the Dodgers padded their standings. That means his milestones don't stay confined to one sports fan base. They spill over into others. Basketball fans have opinions. Soccer fans have opinions. Somewhere, even curling fans are weighing in, because greatness, especially the kind that feels once in a generation, transcends the boundaries of any single game.
If you said that Shohei Ohtani is the greatest baseball player to ever live, how much pushback do you get? After last night, it's something I've thought for a while. I've been scared to say it, but after last night, after Shohei Ohtani has broken the 50-50 barrier, we've seen what he can do on the pitching mound. And we might see it again. We might see it in these playoffs. We might see it next season. I don't know. Even if we don't, I'm comfortable in saying that Shohei Ohtani is not only the best baseball player I have ever seen, he is the best baseball player that has ever lived.
You guys are being very, very...
Okay, clip that, put it out. What do you think the reaction is?
You guys are being very flippant with this, and you guys are throwing this out there. He's the greatest player of all time. And
that's why the conversation feels so charged. Ohtani is forcing fans from all corners to reckon with the idea that maybe, just maybe, the most impressive athlete alive right now doesn't play their sport. And for some, that's a hard pill to swallow. But while they argue, Ohtani will keep doing what he's always done, quietly stacking records, casually bending the laws of what one human can do on a baseball field, and shrugging it all off like it's just another day. Because when you're truly elite, the noise around you is just background static. You hear it, but you don't let it change the station you're tuned into. In a weird way, Teague's comment was the best possible gift to Ohtani's legacy. It ensured that this wasn't just milestone number 1,000 filed away in the history books. It made it an event, a flashpoint, something people will remember not just for the number, but for the week-long meme-fueled cross-sport debate it spawned. And if sports are, at their core, about moments that stick with us, then congratulations. Jeff Teague just helped turn Ohtani's big day into one of those moments. And now, somewhere in the Dodgers clubhouse, there's probably a joke going around about whether they should invite Teague to Ohtani's 2,000th hit just to see what happens next.